Okay.
Okay, we are back again. This time we're here with Barb Young and Greg Stevens from North Salina Community Development. We're so excited to have you with us, you guys. Thanks for joining us today. We can't wait to hear about what you've got going on over there at North Salina Community Development. I know every time I drive down the street, it looks like there's something new and cool, especially those banners, which I don't even think they're so new anymore, but they add so much nice color to the streets. So welcome and thanks.
Yeah, thank you guys for hopping on. If you just want to go ahead and get started and let us know.
We're supposed to be talking.
We can't hear you.
Hey, Chris, you muted yourself.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and start out by just telling us how everything's going for you.
Go ahead.
It's just a little crazy, but it's maybe not too much more so than normal. But we're just trying to do our social distancing and try to keep things going and doing things behind the scenes the best we can.
And I know last we talked, or maybe you mentioned you were working on trying to write some grants.
I can't hear.
Trying to write some grants.
What's that?
Trying to write some grants.
I'm just.
He says the last
Well,
time
you
we
answered.
talked.
You answered.
I don't know.
What?
He said the last time you talked, you were trying to write some grants.
I don't know what to say. I'm sorry, my head stopped up with allergies, so we'll try.
Okay.
This is not going.
You also talked about the permit process with the city.
There's some questions.
Hey, Chris, you keep getting muted, and I'm not really sure how that keeps happening.
I clicked it. Can you guys hear me?
Yes. I'm going to mute them when you're talking so that there's no echo. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, hey, Barb, it's okay. Last time we talked, you mentioned a couple of things. You talked about maybe working on some grants, and you also talked about how slow things were with permits in the city at this time.
Hey, Greg, will you press the unmute button?
There you go. Shall we do it again? Answer it again.
Just.
You're doing fine.
Am I supposed to talk about again? Same thing?
Yeah.
We've been working on care packages for folks in the low-income housing, plus the motels in North Salina. And we haven't heard back. So as soon as we know one way or another, we're going to be working on assembling that. We've got several groups that are available to help put that together and get that out. So we're kind of a holding pattern. And for other things, we're just trying to figure out a way to implement it without using large groups of people, which we've done in the past as volunteers. So we're just hanging in and trying to figure out what the new normal is.
Chris, did you have another question?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that one got answered. Yeah, it was tough to hear. But yeah, did they already answer how we can help out right now? Okay. So how can the community help you guys out right now? What type of volunteer opportunities are there for everyone?
As soon as we know something, probably just getting folks to help us out and putting things together. If they'd like to donate towards the care packages, that's fine. We're just trying to do small things right now since we just don't know what the future is going to be in immediate time. So we're just kind of in a holding pattern right now, like everybody else. Long term, I think just letting folks know that they're still behind us and that we'll figure out the long term things and let people know. It's just really hard to say right now.
Well, trying to keep connected with you and keep the word out there as far as what we can do and what everyone can do to help. Like you said, a little bit of a holding pattern. So as far as what obstacles lie ahead, what opportunities there are for volunteers, those things will come. So we will do our best to help you guys stay connected to everybody. And please let us know what we can do to help. And there's just so much now.
And I apologize for all the technical issues. If there's anything else that we can do to help you guys and share the message when we're not on having a video with some audio problems, definitely let us know and we'll post them on the Facebook group so people can see those. All right. Thank you so much, you guys. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Have a great day.
All right, Chris, our next guest is ready.
Oh.
He's here.
All right.
His name is Travis Young from Vortex. So, welcome, Travis.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you fine.
All right. Very good. Our audio with some of our guests today has not been very cooperative, but we're powering through.
Fingers crossed on this one.
Yes. So on that note, we heard that you guys have some really cool things going on and that you've been leveraging the work that you do to give back to the community. And we would love to hear a little bit more about that.
Sure. I guess when this whole thing started affecting or impacting our area of the world anyway, at the end of March, our natural instinct was to reach out to the hospital, knowing that they would have probably the greatest need and the concern for how our hospitals are impacted by patients and the personal protective equipment that they might need. So I just reached out to Joel Phelps and asked do you guys need? What do you need? And I was surprised to hear the face shield comment. I hadn't really thought about that. And so we used our procurement department, managed to find a company, a vendor of ours, that was making these face shields. And what a face shield is for really is to create a protective barrier between you and a patient. So their micro droplets can't get to your face and your micro droplets can't get to their face. But also, too, most importantly, it makes sure that nurses and doctors don't touch their face after touching an infected surface. So our vendor could come up with 100 of them. And so we bought those for the hospital. However, we realized that those were kind of a temporary solution issue because they weren't very reusable. So you kind of used them once or twice, and then they were kind of unwashable, uncleanable. So you just threw them away. And so we were thinking about that and thought, gosh, if this is going to get worse, they're going to run out of face shields again. And the supply chain around the world for face shields are terrible. So our engineers got together and they looked at all these things that were going out in the world, and they came up with their own design based on the criteria that it had to be easy to clean, meaning it wouldn't react to any alcohol-based solvents or anything like that. And they came up with a design that looks a little bit like this. And so it fits around the head like so, and then you can work and do whatever you want. But the design was pretty interesting. What they came up with is they took this material that we use commonly at Vortex, that we use for a lot of our products, and they made a device that was flexible that could be made on our plastic router. And that router can produce quite a few of these. So I think we produced 200 in a couple of days of these things. And so we found this sort of polycarbonate hard plastic material from a vendor that are typically, this material is too thick for normal sort of do-it-yourself face shields. So it's a little bit more available through the supply chain. And obviously the PET band here is something that we always use. We came up with a little device. I think on our version 2, we're going to create an elastic band, but this uses sort of a ear saver that's 3D printed. And it just wraps on these little hooks here. And they tend to work pretty well, actually. They're pretty lightweight, comfortable to wear. The only thing that is replaceable is we use it's kind of a weather sealer, if you will, that goes around the front just to make it more comfortable to wear. So we produced those. We made 200 of them for the hospital, and we thought, yeah, okay, that's all. And now that we're opening back up, we're starting to get more demand in fields that we wouldn't traditionally see face shields. In particular, it's the dentists here in town that are looking to use them. Again, there's a lot of trouble with supply chain getting face shields. So the ones that they can get are again, disposable, not very reusable, difficult to clean. And so I've been working with a few dentists here in town on a design because their needs are a little bit different than a healthcare worker's needs. They need to be able to lower their chin to look down at a patient. And these versions are a little bit long. So we also realized that they use optics on their eyes and lights commonly when they're working with patients. So we're working on a design that goes out further so they can put their devices on their eyes. So hopefully we've ordered another round of materials, and hopefully we're going to make those available here in the next 2 weeks. We are trying to cover our costs on it a little bit. And we had a little brainstorm the other day and thought, well, let's charge for it, but all the profits, let's take the profits from those and donate it to community charities that are really orientated towards feeding those who are in need. We felt like that was probably the highest level of degree of need. That was pretty important. And I also include, it would be the food bank and that sort of thing, but also too the zoo has been closed, and animals still need to eat, and they've still had to operate without a lot of revenue because the zookeepers have to remain intact and taking care of the animals. So we thought about just dividing up the profits from these based on those two needs here in the community. We can make as many as are needed. If anybody in the community needs to order one, we actually have a website that's set up with a form on it, and we'll kind of take a first come, first serve. We'll still give priority to the essential, the hospital. We'll also give some priority to the Salina County Health Department so they can take care of the community needs. But if private businesses, say a dentist's office, or even going down the road, maybe even a hairdresser, hair salon, maybe their customers feel more comfortable. At least they know that they can acquire a good reusable device, and through their purchase, it goes to a good cause.
What is that website, Travis?
So the website is vortexglobal.com/shields-for-Salina. So it's Shields for Salina is the drive, and we're only selling those to local businesses. We're not opening that up to the rest of the world or anything like that. We're just trying to take care of our community at the moment. And obviously we have a business to run as well. So our priority is our business, and if we can do things to help our community, all the better.
That's amazing. Did you ever imagine you would end up working on something like this?
No, because I guess we didn't even think of the face shield until they brought it up from the hospital. Where you're like, well, what's that? So, but it was important. I mean, they needed Clorox wipes. They needed all these things that we couldn't really make or do. But the face shield was the one thing that we could definitely deliver on.
That is so cool. Chris?
Well, what I think is interesting is what you brought up was the businesses and people that we don't really think about now, like let's say the salons and the barber shops. But I mean, they're kind of right up in your face. They're close, and but those are different things. Like you said, down the road, there's probably more of those organizations or businesses like that we're not really thinking about right now.
Yeah, and I guess even if it's not required by the state that somebody has to wear them, I guess it's a measure that food services could put in place if indeed they felt their clientele felt that was making them more comfortable. So obviously this whole thing has always been fluid, and you don't know what's going to happen next sometimes. But I think we can continually produce as many as we need to, as long as our supply chains remain intact to get the base materials to do it. So as long as there's a need in the community, we'll try to fill it to the best of our ability.
Well, we love that.
Like you
and
said,
I think sorry, Chris. A big theme we've heard today is from we've been interviewing nonprofits, but they've all just had nothing but positives to say about how the community is coming together. And again, here, you're not a nonprofit, but you're spending your business to support those organizations and step further to support the food bank and the zoo. That's amazing. So thank you for your efforts. That's very cool, and we commend you for that. Stepping
Well,
up to the plate.
thank you very much. It just made sense. We had the resources and the machines to do it and to do it efficiently. So we felt like it was just the right thing to do.
And I think that is the spirit that our nonprofits have been telling us all day. That's just what makes this community so wonderful. So thank you, Travis, and to Vortex. And thank you for joining us on here today. I'm so glad we were able to catch you for a minute. And I'm sure Chris would agree. If there's anything that we at the Community Foundation can do to help or partner with you guys in any way, definitely reach out and let us know.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for what you do. And thanks. I'm sure you must be tired of interviews by now.
We just love talking to people.
Keep going.
So
Just keep going.
we're like, we have, I think, an hour left to go. So
Okay. Keep on
out.
trucking.
All right. Thanks,
All right.
Travis. We'll see
All
you
right.
soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right. That's so awesome.
That is awesome. That's really cool. Like, yeah, there's just so many cool things going on. So even if we use the mask, that they, hey, have it available. Like if a customer says, hey, could you please put on a mask?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And that's where, we think about creative ways
Sound
to
awful,
get
don't
back.
I?
Huh? Yeah, you sound awful.
Go ahead.
But we're just going with it. So, I'm gonna give your awful sound a 5-minute break, and then I can't hear you anymore.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go, and I'll see you in 5 minutes. Bye.
See ya.